So I think there's been an average update when it comes to HBAR, and I'll talk about the price really soon, but I'll talk about this real quick, even though nothing I say is financial advice. And the way to take a look at it is that Hedera, what supports the growth of Hedera, right? Supposedly, it's something called Hashgraph. And if we take a look at Hashgraph just as an entity, very recently it was announced how they joined the Agentic AI Foundation, which I think it's pretty cool because the objective is to help advance the future of interoperable AI. The thing is this, when it comes to the Agentic AI Foundation, there was allegedly 97 new members and 146 total. So I do find this to be pretty cool. Now, if we take a look at the aspect of interoperability, right? The thing is this, even if I just don't talk about this space overall, let's just say I talk about blockchains, right? In terms of that having interoperability, which of course, Hedera Hashgraph, it doesn't utilize traditional blockchain technology. But again, the aspect of interoperable AI, I'm going to use this as a way to kind of, I guess, explain in a way how interoperability sometimes could have a meaningful factor. Because let's just take this into consideration. There's many networks out there, many blockchains, but a lot of them, for the most part, can't really interact freely with one another. And the reason why is because, again, they're independent of one another. And if they can't freely interact with one another, arguably they do lack interoperability. So having interoperability is crucial in a lot of cases, but that's just an example right there. However, that example was blockchain specific, right? Even if I take a look at the Cambridge Dictionary, it does say how interoperable is defined if two systems or pieces of equipment are interoperable, they can both work together. Now, if I just want to give an even more simple example, it's like, for instance, even if I just ignore the blockchain example or the example that I just mentioned before about, two pieces of equipment or whatever, here's the thing. Imagine if, let's say, I'm using AT&T and I try to call my friend who's using T-Mobile and I can't. In this random make-believe example, I'm just saying, just simply because I'm not using the same carrier, wouldn't that be a big issue? Now, that's not an actual issue that at least I've experienced ever, but I'm just saying, imagine if it was. So having interoperability, I think, matters in a lot of aspects, just, I think, arguably, in a lot of things in general. So I think that when it comes to interoperable AI, I think it is pretty cool at the end of the day. I think interoperability matters when it comes to AI, when it comes to blockchains, and also for a lot of other things too. But that's just basically the way you take a look at it. So when I take a look at, again, Hashgraph joining the Agentic AI Foundation, I mean, try saying that 10 times, but yeah, besides that point, again, they're proud to join that supposedly to help advance the future of interoperable AI. So I like the aspect of interoperability and also I like the aspect of AI. That's the thing. That's kind of the basic things that I care about when it comes to this. So I just thought it's a pretty average update at the end of the day. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's not necessarily the most boring or the worst either. So yeah, I just thought it's pretty average, but it's pretty cool. That's the way to take a look at it. Now, HBAR is around 30 times lower than $3. We've seen actually some altcoins, or quite a lot actually, have been having this slight recovery as of late. Now, is it going to be prolonged? We'll wait and see. And did Hashgraph joining again, I'm going to have to say this, Agentic AI Foundation have anything to do with the slight recovery that we saw when it comes to HBAR recently, right? Probably not really. I mean, this is not like the greatest thing of all time, in my opinion, in terms of the update, right? But at least at the same time, it's pretty cool. It's not like it's so boring, in my opinion. But yeah, besides that point, though, HBAR at $3, by the way, the market cap at that point would be around 128 billion. Again, at a market cap of around 128 billion, that's not such a groundbreaking figure. I mean, okay, it sounds like kind of massive in a vacuum. Like if we just take a look at that figure in and of itself, like again, around 128 billion sounds so massive, right? But if we take a look at BNB, back in 2021, even at one point that year, it reached a market cap of over 100 billion. So 128 billion isn't really that far off. And keep in mind, BNB actually during the cycle reached a new all-time high, right? So, like, is this such a ridiculous figure when it comes to Hedera? Or should I say HBAR? Yeah, I don't know if I think about it that way, because I don't think about it that way actually. But here's the thing, because Hedera Hashgraph doesn't even utilize traditional blockchain technology, that right there automatically, I think just makes it completely more unique than a bunch of other projects out there, right? Because a lot of other projects out there, what are they utilizing? They're utilizing something called traditional blockchain technology, which there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's clearly worked in the past, it's working as of right now, and if it works well in the future, it wouldn't necessarily surprise me. But at the same time, if there's something different, if there's something unique, why not? That's the way you take a look at it. I mean, not every single project out there could arguably become the most interesting, but if inherently just because Hedera Hashgraph doesn't utilize traditional blockchain technology, that makes it unique, that makes it stand out, why not? I feel like lean into it, right? Lean into what makes something different, what makes something unique. I think that right there is what makes it shine sometimes, the difference. If it's really lean into, I feel like that could make it become something pretty cool. I mean, if I take a look at it as of right now, I'm just dollar cost averaging once a month. I mean, that's all I can really do. Beyond that, I can't do anything else. But, I'm still going to be updating because when I take a look at Hedera, I just think it's a pretty cool project. I mean, again, the governing council, keep in mind, includes Google. Isn't that very impressive? Also, on top of that, FedEx, right? We saw what FedEx recently did in terms of joining the Hedera Council, not to mention the recent McLaren Racing partnership when it comes to Hedera. And yeah, you heard that right. I'm talking about McLaren, the F1 racing. Isn't that pretty cool? That's the way you take a look at it. Personally, I don't watch a lot of F1. I mean, I've seen sometimes, but I don't watch it, right, regularly or anything like that. But I just think it's pretty cool. A lot of my friends do, though, right? And they tell me, oh, McLaren is pretty cool and all this. And yeah, I think McLaren is cool. Personally, I'm not into sports cars, right? For me, either a Model Y or a RAV4, I'm all good. I'm not a car enthusiast or something, but if I see like McLaren or something, I think that's really awesome. So yeah, I think the cars do look pretty cool. So I think when it comes to Hedera, it's pretty cool, right? At the end of the day, keep in mind, Hedera, we saw what they did with Karate Combat, right? Now, is Karate Combat more popular than the UFC? Probably not, of course, but still, they did something there when it comes to Karate Combat, so it's pretty cool. So overall, I do like what I'm seeing when it comes to Hedera. It's just, despite this slight recovery, HBAR is still approximately around 30 times lower than $3. Yeah, again, I mean, that's still the thing, right? I mean, HBAR is still down by quite a lot despite this slight recovery, but you know what? If things go lower, I'll be happy because I'm dollar cost averaging anyways, and I'd like it if I could dollar cost average at a lower point. And if I take a look at something like, for instance, if it does hypothetically recover a little bit, yeah, I'm not going to complain either because why not, right? I don't want things to be low forever. That's kind of my mindset. Keep in mind, Hedera Hashgraph uses something called a directed acyclic graph. It's just different, when compared to a lot of other projects out there. It's just sometimes a little bit of a different ecosystem. That's the way you take a look at it. It's like a tennis player having a competition with a ping pong player. It's a different ecosystem. That's sometimes the way you take a look at it. It's just like, let's say, playing chess versus playing checkers. It's a little bit of a different vibe. You know what I mean? But again, that's just the way you take a look at it. Kind of the analogy that I have actually when it comes to something like Hedera Hashgraph using a directed acyclic graph compared to other projects that again use typically in a lot of cases traditional blockchain technology. But yeah, besides that point, now personally when it comes to Hedera, it's just only time will tell type of scenario. I can just stay patient, that's it. When it comes to me holding HBAR, I'm still doing that, right? Still a dollar cost averaging once a month, but that's it. Really, again, that's all I will do, but I'll be sure to make more updated videos when it comes to Hedera, and hopefully y'all stay tuned for that. And again, if Hashgraph decides to do something, if something like Hedera, there's an update, again, I'll talk about it. However, I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Willie the Captain, and I'll see you all in the next one. So I'm out. Peace. Bye.